Good morning, everybody. My name is Sherry Ogasawara. I'm the VP of Health Services for the British Columbia Government and Service Employees Union, and along with my colleague Carla Dempsey, who is the VP of Community Health Services, we really represent the majority of the 70,000 members that we have with the BCGEU. And I just want to thank the organizers and BCCPA for organizing today's event and for extending the invitation for myself to be able to speak on behalf of the BCGEU, but also to just, I was asked to provide a bit of a perspective, a union perspective, and a perspective on some possible solutions. And just to also preface it, I am a frontline healthcare worker, and I am a population health dietitian. I'm from Prince George, and I have had the unique opportunity of working in every sector of healthcare in service delivery, whether it be acute, whether it be in rehab, or again in long-term care. And currently I'm in population health. And I think it's really important. I've been excited at a visceral level about the discussion and the dialogue around this topic, because, you know, as stakeholders, we're deeply committed to and invested in the collaborative process, and I heard that word over and over again. So very happy to hear that in developing a workable strategy and a health human resource plan to support the heart of healthcare, and those are the workers in continuing care. So our overarching goals we're all really on the same page. It's a caring society comprised of a caring workforce that really is cared for. But there are also, as we've heard this morning already, some key issues. And I want to discuss from our perspective, again, what some of the solutions might be. And we've talked about or heard about the enormous recruitment and retention issues. And just to preface that as well, those two factors or those two issues shouldn't be mutually exclusive. They need to be considered together, because it's not enough to bring people into the workforce. That they have to be encouraged to stay and to want to stay and support and be provided that support and want to develop their careers. So the continuing care sector is not alone in experiencing a workforce shortage, and clients are not the only ones that are aging in place. Workers are as well. We heard that already. Baby boomers retire, the next generation is fewer in numbers, with not enough people to fill those existing jobs, not only in seniors care or the health system, but really this is across the entire workforce spectrum. So there'll be competition among continuing care providers and health providers for workers. There'll also be competition with other industries and employers. And this is not just a situation in British Columbia and Canada, this is a global issue. And there's a shortage of skilled health providers with all countries who are struggling and often competing to develop and maintain a stable, adequate health workforce to deliver those services. So we need to look at solutions, I think, that include innovation and creativity and attracting people into the profession. We heard that as well, because it really does take a special kind of person to work in continuing care. And the vast majority, when I talk to anybody, do it because they are dedicated to caring for seniors, and they want to make a difference. That's why they wake up, that's why they go to work every day, and that's how they measure the success of their day. There's also a need for those who have both technical skills and the appropriate soft skills, like compassion, ethics, teamwork, and enthusiasm. But attraction in the face of competition really requires a rebranding of the industry. And I heard some slogans that Daniel was putting out. I think of, you know, Nike and Just Do It, and I think of Kleenex and all of those things where there's been this branding. And we've also heard that there's seniors, sorry, it's not sexy. So we need to look at how maybe we can make it so that there's something that's attracting people to want to come into the industry and competing with the glamour and really the excitement of acute care. Because when you look at television and the entertainment industry, Grey's Anatomy, The Good Doctor, ER, all of those are in acute care. Do you ever see anything that's set in seniors care? Or sadly, no. So one of the things, and this is just a small solution that we did this internally, was Healthcare Assistance Day falls every year on October 18th. And so we really wanted to celebrate the heart of healthcare and the heroes in healthcare. And so we talked about healthcare workers being healthcare heroes. We had buttons and promotional materials that emphasized healthcare workers as superheroes that said, I'm a healthcare worker, what's your superpower? And people with postcards that reminded them of the important work they do. And our home support workers who took those postcards, put it on the dash of their car, so they were reminded of how important they are. So, retention as well as a global problem. Staff turnover in residential long-term care ranges from 40% to, I was astounded by this, 500%. And that has a huge impact on continuity of care. And lack of job satisfaction is the most frequently cited reason and results in high levels of stress and further exacerbates the problems with recruitment and retention. So cited in a lot of those studies around, so it's staffing levels, shortages, and even more so than wages, because that has such a huge impact, but also education, training, and the corresponding lack of opportunity for advancement were identified as issues related to job satisfaction. Also, work expectations of employers where leadership roles were expected out of some healthcare workers who cited that their education and their experience were lacking. So this is really an area where unions can offer support because we have education and training that we offer directly. BCGEU has a BCGEU Learning Center, and we have 12 centers across the province where we offer training directly, and then also support members to attend courses that parallel to the skills that are required at work, whether it's English as a second language that was identified, mental health training for proficiency and training in the use of technology for both personal and professional use. So again, those are some solutions. There's also a need to address precarious work because only 28.5 average hours were worked weekly in the sector in 2017, down from 2016. Causing healthcare workers to have to take other jobs to make ends meet that affects quality of life, work-life balance, and then again, job satisfaction. Combined with, we've heard about the lower wages, or wages that cause people to struggle. The average wage in home support is $16 an hour, and long-term care, $21.60 an hour before benefits, while the living wage in some place like Vancouver is $20.62. So there's quite a desperate gap between that. We also heard about health and safety, and I'm going to close on just that. In long-term care, workers are injured 4 times more than the average for all workers in BC. As for home care, the injury rates are also increasing. In 2016, here's a comparison, there were 15,000 injury claims in construction. In comparison, there were 14,500 for health workers. So looking at workplace injuries is, I think, a key factor in health human resource strategy and planning, because at any one time, it's estimated that close to 1/3 of health workers are unavailable to work because of injury, and this therefore impacts staff shortages, workload, and then again, that whole issue of potential additional injuries. So the unions again can play a role in helping to address workplace safety through education, resources, and ongoing support to worksite joint occupational health and safety committees. Occupational health and safety courses were developed collaboratively with the Government of British Columbia and the Public Service Agency, and are targeted and specifically designed for health workers. And training offered, the Human Resource Challenge cannot and will not be done in isolation by individual employers or even by one health or industry sector. Successful recruitment and retention programs will require collaboration and cooperation among all stakeholder groups, including government, employers, unions, educational institutions, communities, and affiliated associations like BCGEU. It is only through the combined effort to a common goal that we can find solution. And so on behalf of the BCGEU, we are thrilled and excited to be a part of these initial steps to begin the dialogue towards solution, and we look forward to continuing this journey together. Thank you.